We're in the home of our new artistic director, Scott Coulter, and we're here to talk to Scott about his vision for the festival and also the vision of our performing arts camp. But first, I thought before we get to that, I would say a little bit about where we've come from. How did the festival start? The festival started back in 2009. At that time, I had arranged to have two opera singers come to Buck Hill. And one of the things I heard from a lot of the, happened to be women, is that their husbands didn't want to come. They said, oh my God, don't let me come to this thing. No way, no how. Anyway, they brought them, they forced them to come somehow. And afterwards, we had a reception next door. And at the reception, one of the things I heard from these men who came kicking and screaming, it was the best evening they had ever had in, at that time, Buck Hill, wow, in 20 years. Wow. So I thought, this is very interesting. Something's going on here. And I really think that what was going on was the intimacy of the performance, that being so close to the performers, feeling the emotion, feeling the reality and the art form at that proximity really changed the entire thing for them. So I thought, this would be a great place for a music festival. And why I thought that was because I thought of Tanglewood. Now, Tanglewood is further from New York than we are. We're 90 miles from Manhattan, 110 miles from Philadelphia. We have this beautiful scenery. We have a very supportive community that loves the arts. And I thought, we have better proximity, as good scenery as Tanglewood in the Berkshires. Why can't we do it here? So that's when I came up with the idea of starting this music festival. And starting back in 2009, over the last 8 years, we brought a real diverse group of art forms to our area. Among them has been dance. Justin Peck came, the principal dancer from New York City Ballet. We had Paul Taylor Dance Company. We had opera. We had jukebox opera presentations of La Traviata and Porgy and Bess. We had Broadway people, Tony Award winners, Faith Prince, Liz and Ann Hampton Calloway, Tony Yazbek. We had jazz. We had Dave Liebman, who's the National Endowment for the Arts Master in Jazz. The Anderson brothers. We even formed a relationship with the graduate program of the Tisch School of the Arts at New York University. So obviously, we have really had this tremendous number of genres. And our mission has always been not only to bring the highest quality of performance to the area, but also to provide education for the youth of the area. So from the very beginning, we had a very big educational commitment. And I really think that it's this educational part that has really had a lot of people very much wanting to be a part of this program. And we started out with a program called the Young Scholars, which went on for about 5 years. We had 25 students who spent 2 weeks studying with two Broadway coaches, and at the end they put on their own performance. And we then evolved into a performing arts camp, and last year we had 63 students, and this year we're hoping to get 100 students. We had a change in artistic directors, and this new person is sitting right next to me, Scott Coulter. And I saw Scott perform at 54 Below, where he's one of the producers, Feinstein's 54 Below. And I was so impressed with not only his productions, but also his performance ability. Now, Scott has won numerous awards, 5 or 6 MAC awards. He's had an Emmy Award. Nomination, excuse me. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Yes.
He has had, he's performed with symphony orchestras all over the country. He has his own production company. And last night, I just happened, by circumstance, to be at his production of the centennial birthday celebration of Leonard Bernstein, who, as you know, is one of the greatest American composers. You told the story of his life. You assembled this tremendous number of performers. There were Tony Award winners, Tony nominees, and there were like 20 young up-and-coming people, which to me right away said education. So here you were mentoring the young people, and there were a group of people there who were with people who they wanted to be. And to me, that sort of personified the kind of person that we want as the artistic director. We want somebody in the performing arts camp who can mentor people and at the same time bring the highest quality of entertainment to our festival. So I think I really have two questions. Actually, I think I should say three questions. One is your ease on stage and your ability, I mean, obviously you have a tremendous talent, but what do you think went toward making that? I mean, your parents, your education, life circumstances, that's, how do you get that ease and sensitivity that comes across, which I've been to a lot of performances, and that's often missing. You don't get that kind of relationship that you had last night.
I'm drawn to things that I appreciate. I'm drawn to composers and artists and shows and songs, and I just like sharing that with people. I like sharing the story. I think the story behind the song is often as interesting as the song itself, and it helps people hear the song in a new way, the way you set it up, the way you can relate to an audience with a little anecdote, like might put just a completely different spin on a song that they'd never even expected before. Where the ease comes from, I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate you're saying that, and I've heard it before, but I don't think it's something that can be taught. Some people have great voices. Some people can speak on a stage. Some people can dance. Some people can, pull a rabbit out of a hat. I don't know.
I haven't seen you dance or pull a rabbit out of a hat.
And
all the other things,
and you won't.
all the other
And
things
you
you can do.
You won't see either of those things. But I think it just comes from I love to talk. I love to tell stories, and I really love the people that I work with, because I'm in a position to choose with whom I work, which is a great luxury.
So what do you think will be your vision going forward, both for the festival and also for the camp? How do you see that evolving over time?
Well, the thing that drew me to the festival, I think the festival is a great idea, but the camp sort of put it over the top for me, because I have for the last decade, as you know, done a show every summer at the town hall with Scott Siegel called Broadway's Rising Stars, where we audition kids from around the country that have just graduated from musical theater school. And we pick 24 kids every year. And a lot of these kids have had careers that have taken off from that performance at the town hall. But last year was my last year. And I needed something new and something different. I'd done it for 10 years, and it was time for somebody else to take the reins and direct that show. And so this sort of, came to me, which is sort of, kismet, I guess,
right,
in musical terms. And so I think that what would be great is for the camp, the kids in the camp, and we're going to try it this year, to have a real presence in the actual festival as far as the concerts go. And I think if we can get them really interested in the festival as well as just the camp, I think it'll help everything sort of grow together. Because part of what we want to do this year is reach out to the people of the whole Pocono area, sort of embrace the whole community and get everybody involved. And if the kids can be a part of helping make that happen, that'll be a really great thing.
So who do you have lined up as far as camp instructors go for this year?
I'm really excited about this lineup. I think it's going to be spectacular. I work with almost exclusively, I work with several great pianists and accompanists on shows around the country. But the guy that I use most often is a man named John Boswell. He was for many years the music director for Andy Williams. He was the music director for Judy Collins. He's done the same thing for Sheena Easton. And I think he's just about the best there is. And so he's going to act as the music director for the camp, which is going to be, it's going to be a real...
That's quite a...
it's going to be
quite
fantastic.
A thing.
The kids are in for a treat. And then for musical theater vocal coaching is a wonderful, wonderful theater and cabaret actress, star really, named Clea Blackhurst, who is sort of known for her love and appreciation of Ethel Merman. She's sort of in fact, Clea's from Salt Lake City, and they used to call her Ethel Mormon, which I think is hilarious. But she has a real passion for not only performing, but for teaching as well. She actually teaches a class here in the city on musical theater history. So that'll be part of what she also brings to the camp, as well as working on craft, but a little bit of history as well. And then two really great dance teachers, a woman named Viva Kadal, who is so incredible with young people that I can't wait to see what she does with these kids. She has wonderful energy, she has wonderful ideas, she's a great infectious spirit, and she will be the choreographer for the camp, for all the musical numbers. And then sort of the icing on the cake is Jermaine Goodson, who is a Broadway dancer, a veteran of numerous classic shows, and she's a master tap teacher in New York City. She works at Steps on Broadway teaching tap, and the fact that she said yes is I'm so excited about it, and she is going to whip those kids into shape. We're gonna have a tap class every day, 90 minutes every day for 2 weeks. So, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot of concentrated tap, and I can't wait to see what she gets those kids doing by the final concert, their final performance. I think it's going to be jaw-dropping for a lot of people when the curtain goes up and there's 100 kids tap dancing who didn't tap dance, 10 days ago.
That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
And do you see the camp as just being 2 weeks, which it is now, or do you think there's a way to sort of extend this?
Well, what I would like to see happen, if we can make it happen, is for the camp is 2 weeks, the last week of July, the first week of August. And then every 6 weeks for the next year until camp starts again, we will have some sort of master class in the Poconos for anyone who attended camp this year. You don't have to come, but you're invited to come, and I would hope that everyone would. So every 6 weeks there will be a different teacher coming in with a different discipline, maybe a singing class 1 week, maybe a dance class 1 week, maybe an improv class the next 6 weeks, so that it sort of keeps them invested the whole year long, so that it's not just a 2 week stint every summer, but they're constantly working throughout the year, and keeping everything exciting and building on what they've learned.
You've got the talent, you've got the ease, and it's obvious to me as an expert in that field that the way you interact with children and kids is going to be really superb in terms of making these people really get involved and really want to do this. So I can't tell you how happy I am that I ran into you at 54 Below and that you're going to be our new artistic director.
No,
I think
my pleasure.
we got the best of all worlds here.
Thank you.
Okay.